What's going on, everybody? So I recently put out a video of me playing Session. I had never played it before up to that point. I had 240 plus hours in Skater XL, but now I have about 100 hours into Session, and I think I'm ready to finally declare my feelings on this game now that I've done quite a bit of beta testing. I figured out how I like to play, so I have completely beaten this game. I've done every single tutorial, every single skater twice now. I even attempted to do a mild speed run, but there's really no closeout to the game. Technically, the game's released, but it doesn't seem like there's really anything there. Story-wise, it's more of just like a how to play the game. There's a bunch of options here. So as you can see, I have some custom stuff in here. I like having a little bit higher rates of speed because I'm at FDR. So yeah, I've gotten quite good. I have the controller on screen because I went on and put it on the hardcore mode. So if I'm skating regular, you can see my right stick is my back foot, even though I'm goofy-footed. I'm goofy-footed at IRL. But if I do a 180, I'm hitting X to push with my back foot now, and my left stick is my back foot. And I've gotten kind of used to it. It's still imperfect, but I'm getting better at it. This was more of a recent change. So yeah, now that I have like every option, every skate park, everything unlocked, I even tried to mess around with some of the mods, but because I'm not updating the game, it's kind of a pain in the ass. You can't go outside there. I've gotten quite interested in this game. I think I've actually started to develop more enjoyment for this game. Skater XL was great for its gravity physics, its way it handled grinding, but now that I've put more time into Session, I'm beginning to really appreciate how much more realism can be involved into this game. Sometimes you get some weird stuff, like weird physics, especially when you're doing some lip tricks and stuff like that, but the one problem I have is this game requires an insane amount of focus on where your trucks are and how the physics are handled. There's really no, oh, I tapped the coping and, you know, I can go in, but in IRL, you know, that kind of stuff, you would on the fly improv, so you can get into the quarter pipe safely and manage to continue your line or your trick and things like that. But there are some things that are really frustrating. Getting grabs to work has been really annoying. I don't think my update has grabs. I've looked into it. It seems like the newer updates and a couple of the older updates had experimental grabs, but this one doesn't have them. This is, I believe, 1.03 now. Could be incorrect there. But if you're a skater or you're interested in skateboarding games, I think this game has come a long way into becoming what I would consider one of the best skateboarding simulations. And man, you can do some really flowy stuff once you get good at it. So I'm gonna actually try to do some sick lines and whatnot. For some reason, my late flips aren't working and stuff like that. It's really frustrating. Some of the gravity isn't working right. But yeah, I have every city now. I have the extra parks as well. Like this one's pretty sweet, the creature hangar. And I don't know, man. Like I throw on a podcast, I throw on something on TV, or well, I don't watch TV, but I throw something on, and this has just like been my go-to game. It used to be Forza, it used to be Skater XL before that. This has just been a good time. I did Scooter Flows for a while. That was pretty good. If you haven't checked out Scooter Flows and you like scootering, it's a pretty solid simulator for scooters. Pretty solid. Pipe is just they need to sell the source code. They need to sell it to somebody because Pipe can be good. It just needs a dedicated team behind it. I have been so frustrated because I want Pipe to be so much better. Pipe is BMXing, and it just seems like it's a dead, abandoned project. And every time I go to record something for this game, I don't know, it's like real life skateboarding, you know, you get that anxiety, you know, people are gonna watch it, and since this is such a heavily skill based game, there's a lot of judgment in the community and things like that, but I really do enjoy it. So let's go ahead and be quiet and see what I can do. I'm gonna try doing some extra power on it, but I do have all of the experimental tricks on. I have all of them. So, you know, I can do like Casper's, but it's on advanced mode, so that way it's not happening constantly, because I found when you start playing around with some of the experimental features, it being too easy is pretty annoying. And you kind of want that challenged from time to time, where you actually have to focus to get your trick. And you can't just land in a Casper just because you want to. See it like that. I didn't want to do a QA episode on this. The Creature crew, unlike the Skater XL crew, never reached out to me to make any content on it. Skater XL, when I reached out to them, they were very kind and very open, but I never heard back from Creature, and that's fine. You know, that happens a lot. And when you have big time skateboarders and professionals and big content creators and things like that reaching out, you know, a small content creator like myself, you know, typically gets pushed down to the bottom bracket. And that's fine, because I have nothing but positive things to say about this game. I think there's a lot of opportunity for this to become the mainstream engine. Ooh, I should have done a lip on that. I went for a tail. And I'm excited to see what they do with Skate 4, knowing how Skate played. I actually have plans on playing through Skate 3 soon on the show. I know I'm currently doing Zelda and I've been away, but that's coming. I have a lot of other stuff going on. Like, I have my PS3 set up and stuff like that. Trying to get all the God of Wars, because the new God of War, newer, is getting the Ragnarok update, and I don't know much of anything about God of War, and Red wants to talk about it, so, you know, just been doing other stuff in order to... Ooh, this is sick. Well, okay, so what's really cool is you have different variants of ollies. So if I hold down and press down, I do a low pop. This is usually just like a roll of your heel forward when you're doing an ollie. And it really does capture what a curb hop looks like. And you can actually bone it, which is pretty neat. And then if you ollie, you do a little bit of a feather on your rear there. But if you can really bone the shit out of it and get some pretty cool looking ollies. Of course, I think some of the clipping on the board and things like that need to be worked out. I don't think it's the end of the world. I've seen some people change their settings so that way it works a lot better. I like that this game has pressure flips. I think that's pretty cool. I never really liked doing pressure flips, especially not in real life. I never thought they looked that good. But when you do it on like a mini pipe and things like that, they're pretty extraordinary. You can do some pretty sweet pressure hard flips and stuff like that into pipe, or on pipe rather. Especially if you're doing it into the coping, it looks really cool. Ooh, triangle. I have my push force a little too high. Makes it a little bit hard for me to align myself around the second push. And really high speeds can make it kind of difficult for you to get going properly. Like you can see, like if I go too fast at stuff, the character will like compress his body. It's almost like the muscle physics or something. I just need to be reprogrammed. You know, if you're really hauling ass or you came down off of a big ramp or something, the game will just crush your character, and it can be really frustrating when you're trying to record a line or something that's much more aggressive, or a bigger drop off or something like that, or you're trying to use a quarter pipe for something. Just can't seem to... There we go. And all this can be adjusted, but there's just some things that you can't adjust, and like I said, that's like your character's main strength when going into an incline and stuff like that. Your pump force can be adjusted, but it doesn't change if the attribute of the incline is going to collapse your character or something. And some of the walls you can't ride on. You have to like cheese the game in a way. Look for a grindable surface on an incline or a wall in order to tap it to get some like cool wall ride effects. Because there's really no in-game way to do a wall ride, which I find very odd. The same thing with Skater XL. There's like no real way to do a wall ride, which I would say is something I would want them to add. You know, if I hold left or right at the same time, if you look at my controller, if I hold the joysticks like this or like this, it would be cool to have a wall ride option. I've never been able to land Primo though. I know I've watched a couple tutorials on how to do it. I just can't seem to get it to function correctly. I don't know if it's broken in this current build. You know, if you land a board slide or something too close to the trucks, you get this like weird effect where the board jitters in really weird ways. So that's kind of little things that I would like to see fix, some of the physics. I like that you can slip off the rail though. Like that kind of stuff is true to reality. You know, if your force is wrong and things like that, you'll just slip right off the rail. I mean, the wheels are only gonna hold you on that rail for so long. Man, I feel like I'm relearning the game right now. It's bizarre. But yeah, let's take a look at like some of the other stuff. They've added so many maps and so many things for us to check out. Little things don't work just yet, like really sharp incline banks. They just aren't functioning right as of right now. Nollying when there's a deviation in the incline will make you fall, like you just saw, which is super frustrating, especially when you're trying to do big spins and things like that, bigger spins and whatnot. I think that the fact that if your feet make contact with something, your character just falls is pretty fucking annoying, and this is common in a lot of these similar games. Because if you're a skateboarder, you know that toe tapping off of a wall or heel tapping off of a wall isn't too uncommon when you're skateboarding in a park or a transitional setting. So little things like that. I don't know this park very well. But what's cool is you can do like shifting maneuvers. You can really get your character doing some pretty neat tricks once you get the hang of the game. Which is one of the reasons why I think a lot more people need to play this. There's a lot of opportunity for some really talented speedrunning strats and things like that once the game has like a complete ending. I like how the board gets more and more destroyed as you ride it. The grip tape, the graphic will get sheared off. I currently don't have a graphic, but if you fall and you know, you'll get dusty, you'll get dirty and things like that. You fall in the grass, you'll get some mud and whatnot. And I really appreciate that kind of stuff. See, there another like weird one. That trying to do like basic low pop ollies off of things and you just falling is really weird. Like if you just want to do slappies and stuff like that, sometimes it's better to just roll off the ledge, as I found. So, you know, if you're trying to get some more simulation looking things, I would practice control on your sticks and really work on... That wasn't a nose grind. Camera placement's a little weird at times. I know a couple of my friends have issues with bad camera placement, and they said that this game has really bad or unuseful camera placement, which I can agree at certain times. You know, I would much rather have the further back Skate 3 style camera, but you know, it's an aesthetic choice, and that's just the way it is. Ooh, that was sick. You see, sometimes I just feel like that was really clean. It was well put on. And the game said, nah, we disagree. Is there anything up here? No, it's just an exit. But I just finally figured out how to change my map and things like that. So a lot of this is newer areas for me. And I love the fact that I have all these new locations to explore. They're really doing a good job of keeping the game fresh, unlike Skater XL, where, you know, you have Easy Day School and a few other maps, and they're really reliant on mods being their main map focus, where with Session, you don't really need mods or anything like that. They've really incorporated enough for you to make the game feel the way you want it to feel without any distractions from what the core point of the game is. You know, if you want something that's more loosey-goosey, you can just go in here and go into your advanced setting and just pump up the gravity a little bit. You know, and you can see once I change the gravity, I gotta get off that wall. You know, I can really just careen through things. That was a terrible example. Let's get back into the park, maybe. You know, if I really were to ollie, you can see that my ollie height is pretty crazy. You know, not many people are just going to be statically ollieing, you know, 7 skateboard height. I mean, that's kind of ridiculous. And again, it really comes down to, like, what are you attempting to do in the game? We're going to go ahead and switch it to default. So the default settings for me are a bit too slow, but ultimately are like the most accurate to what a skateboarder would look like. I think the balance here is pretty great. My advanced setting is just a little bit more height on my ollies, especially my low pop ollies. I put it at roughly the height of a curb, because that's literally the point of doing low pop ollies, is jumping about there. So we're gonna go to Philly. Philly is actually one of my favorite cities to go skateboarding in, but I don't really recognize any of these spots. Every time I visit Philadelphia, I end up just going to like the inner city fish market area and just cruising around, meeting locals and things like that. They show me some of their favorite local spots, and I never really was able to do, you know, 9 sets, 8 sets, things like that, big sets, handrails. I was more focused on like transitional bank skateboarding, you know, lower style banks and stuff like that, or hubbas. You can tell like a lot of effort went into these maps. You know, they really wanted these to be aesthetically pleasing, but at the same time a functional map. The splining, in my opinion, on the rails and stuff just makes a lot more sense. See, here's another situation where if you go to the experimental, let's make that disabled, enable that, let's go to options, let's go to gameplay, advanced, custom. Let's turn the gravity down a little bit. So you can see, like, I have my pop heights a little bit higher, and some of this is just a bit lower. Sometimes it is better to just have your friction a little bit lower and things like that. And I find that, you know, you want to be able to grind the environment, even if it's a challenge. So, you know, if I were to recommend anything to the devs, it would just be, if you have something in the environment that's splined and skatable, you know, you want your players to be able to just real quick hop on and hop off like that. So, you know, maximizing your character's ollie height to proportions where the environment becomes a little bit more skatable, within reason. Like, obviously that guardrail there is a little bit more on the unreasonable side to expect the player to be able to just easily hop up onto. Like this as well. Like, you shouldn't be able to just ollie straight up onto something like that without, you know, a lot of practice. You're going to want to be doing a lot of squats for a couple weeks and a lot of jumping high up into tables and whatnot. gymnast hops and things like that. But yeah, if your body makes contact with something while you're doing a trick, you know, you just fall, and that can be really frustrating when you're trying to get a trick. But what I really enjoy about Session is that you really have that skateboarder aesthetic where nothing is too easy and nothing is too hard. Too hard is really annoying for the players to get into the game, but what Session did was they allotted the player the ability to really focus on a certain line or a certain trick, and as long as you are willing to adjust the settings to your comfort level, you can get a trick no matter what. Like, I can definitely nose manual up this and hard flip out. It's not like hard flip out. It's just not going to be something that's going to happen right away. I'm going to need to throw some effort into it, which is sweet. All right, there you go. We've got the gnarly hard flip. Let's get some distance. Almost. There it is. Obviously, I didn't land it, but it's really just managing your speed, understanding the board control, and being ready to land that trick. It's really is impressive as fuck. There's a spline at the bottom there that was messing with my character. Oh man, that would not be video quality. Looks like I need to do a low pop at the end of the... There it is. I like this. This is super cool. You know, they give you that VHS effect that's super neat. Something a lot of games, you know, utilize. You know, in Skate, they had the fisheye bowing on the sides of the screen, which was super neat, having that defaulted into the game. And I like the way that Skate 3, you know, utilized the idea that you're trailing behind and you're in this, like, second-person perspective as Shingo is the one that's got the camera and is following you around. I thought that was really neat. I feel like they could have utilized something like that by having a cameraman present in the game talking to you about how you're, like, making a video or something like that. And you need to go around these different cities and meet with professionals and get different sponsorships for your clips. Because we really haven't had a game utilize the skateboarding, you know, career very well. Skate 3 tried, but obviously, you know, Thrasher got involved. And don't get me wrong, I love the battle mode and things like that, but some of it just gets kind of annoying at a certain time, and you just want to have that, like, authentic simulator experience. And Session really has an opportunity to be the flag of a generation. So, you know, incorporating multiplayer, incorporating server styles where you play with your friends and you make money, and you know, people can design their own decks, and you have like a mod menu or a store mod where you can go in and buy certain things would be super neat. But it just, I mean, obviously this is made by a small team, so I don't want to be too critical. Ooh, look at that. Oof. It's back here. I haven't explored Philly. Neat. But yeah, I love the aesthetic of this game. I love the complexity of modifying your controls, modifying your trick style to what makes you happy with how the skateboarder rides. There's really nothing else like it. Skater XL just, I don't know, man. It's just missing out on like some of the passion that we have here. Look at that Love Park with the tree. That's not Love Park. That's a GNAR. I don't know. LA tap. Rose tap. This game also calls the ghetto bird the right name, which is sweet. You don't see that too often, where they get tricks right. So that's Philly. New York City, everybody knows. Go to San Fran. Let's go to the Hubba Hideout. This is a place I actually really want to go. The Hubba at the Hubba Hideout in San Fran. One of the tricks I always wanted to get on that was a no slide big spin out, or an FS shove front crook. This is super cool. Look how beautiful. I've never visited San Fran yet. I wanted to. This location right here is actually in Skater XL. This is all destroyed and whatnot, and they have like a whole section dedicated to here, which is pretty sweet. But yeah, I still think Session did it better. I think the maps are way more fun. I did the controls backwards there. And I went and I played Session recently, or Skater XL recently, and I didn't have the same skill as I did before, you know. I really got accustomed to this more stiff, simulator-esque experience, and once you have it down and you know how the game functions, and it really is just there's another one of those weird bugs. A really good experience, one that I think a lot of people will enjoy. Anyways, yeah, that's about it. I just wanted to pop in and let you guys know, like, Session's great. I think the developers did a great job. The banking and the pressure on the banks is all good. You don't just go flying in the air. I can fly at this at pretty high speeds, and he just goes over it because I didn't tell the game to make me jump. And I greatly appreciate little things like that, because what Skater XL does, you know, you just bounce off of stuff for no reason, and it can be really annoying when you're, you know, trying to get a trick and you're just bouncing all over the place. But Session does a good job at managing their physics and making sure that the players are having a good time. And yeah, it's not arcadey, it's very difficult. It's not an easy game to just pick up and play. I mean, this takes a lot of effort, a lot of time to get good at it. Ow. So I hope you guys find this video helpful in making a decision on what skateboarding simulator you want to play. This game does have a lot of mod support. There are mods available. There's a mod map manager available that's super easy to use. If I was on the latest patch, it would be really easy for me to use, but I'm not. I'm on a different patch. But the base game has a lot there for the fan base to explore, to utilize, and get accustomed to the game, which is something that I wish Skater XL really put more focus on, was their map layout and design. Because I feel like when you play a skateboarding game, once you have the core of the game figured out, you know, you're really self-reliant on then picking up maps and picking up this and picking up that to have a solid experience. But if the team, you know, really supports the effort, you'll just have everything right there ready to go, skatable right out of the gate, no problems. I love that everything is splined. I can't get over the fact that if it looks grindable and you have lip tricks on, it's grindable. You can just roll up and hit that. So we're here at the tennis court then. I don't know if the tennis court is like a famous spot, But it is a spot that you can spawn at. I don't know. Oh, it's like one of the planters for the trees. Can I get on the boat? Be cool if they just had like the Tony Hawk map from Cruise Line in the game. Well, there's rails, but I doubt it. Maybe there. I'm gonna try to grind the rope before I go. No, that's not happening. Maybe. Also, the music. Nah, it's got no collision. That's a shame. Man, look at these. Ooh, do you think I can tail slide, no slide? You think that's not gonna work out? Spun a little too hard. Might be a bit too high for an early tap. Yeah, it's a bit too high for an early tap. Let's see. Nah. You're gonna have that pressure ollie out to the right. Which is realistic. That's exactly how that would happen. Your natural physics, when you throw your momentum, is gonna go behind you. Being aware of little things like that as a skateboarder are really important, especially if you're gonna play a video game. You might want to go to the left, but realistically, you're not going to be able to without throwing your weight in a very specific manner. And as of right now, I don't think there's any way to shift momentum or shift your body weight or anything like that. So, you know, whatever it is, you know, you got the map builder and editor and things like that, which is super cool. I've seen a lot of people porting the maps from Skater XL over into here. I've seen Easy Day and some of the stuff from Skate 3 being remade into it, which is super impressive. But I don't think anything will ever beat the memitude that the Skater XL community has created in their efforts of getting the game. Oh, it's got rail blockers on it. That's cool that they have that. And look at this. You're just outside the city. That is so cool. Like, how beautiful is that? I'd love to just have a Google Maps game where you get a car like you're in Forza or something like that, and you just drive around and you can get out and everything's like AI splined and you can skate everything. How cool would that be? That would be so awesome. Just like a 3D generated real world environment from like 2022. Just skate the world. I'd love to go to these ledges. They're so nice. Went for a nollie flip out. You really don't know the length of these things, do you? It's hard to tell with the camera angle. You know, that comes back down to my core issue with the camera placement, but why is that one so different? That is so weird. What? It's like you could just keep going. It's wild. Maps are massive. Can't go in the city, but you know, maybe one day we will be able to go into the city and stuff like that. And yeah. So you got Philly, New York, you got some extra stuff in the San Fran network. But that's about it. If you guys enjoyed this video, hit the subscribe button. I don't know what this is. I remembered I checked out Skater XL. I talked about Session at one point, and I just wanted to come back to it after I had put in quite a bit of time and give you guys my thoughts and yeah, this is absolutely something that you should. It is Love Park. I'm an idiot. This is absolutely a game that you should pick up. I've been here. Okay, yeah. I've skated this before. I just looked familiar. I didn't know if there was like a clone of it in New York City or vice versa. But yeah, if you're into skateboarding, this is definitely worth your time. It wasn't worth your time for so long. I was talking crap about this game for a long time, saying it was way overpriced for the content. Saying the same thing about Skater XL, but my defense for Skater XL was extremely easy to mod. You know, you just had a folder called Maps. You dropped maps in it. It comes into the map selection screen. One session has that figured out, which apparently they have, and they have a mod loader and everything. And the community gets more and more involved. This game's just going to absolutely devastate Skater XL if they don't figure out what they're doing with their game. Because really, Skater XL is just going to take over. Once multiplayer's in it, which it might already be, I don't have that patch, possibly. Games of skate, things like that. Once they have like skate dice and stuff like that as game modes, it's over. Nobody's going to be playing Skater XL anymore. Bye.